Okay, hey, so I'm going to do one more video that nobody's going to pay any attention to. Before I got a lot of shit I got to do, and I don't even have time to do this video. But the thing is this is where the work is. This is totally where the work is. All this other bullshit, is all bullshit. What I do with these videos, this is the work. But whatever. Anyway, so as I'm going on about homelessness in these last series of videos, which you notice I'm more and more often doing, especially with the news, what it's been the last couple of days. So, so this big news story about homelessness in Washington, D.C. and Trump and all this stuff. Okay, and then, well, if that was the flavor of the day's story yesterday or whatever, okay, that would be like if the news story was something about car engines. Okay, so like I have a buddy, and he's extremely knowledgeable on the subject of cars. And you might have the same or similar experience as what I'm about to describe to you, okay? Because I actually have a lot of friends that are very knowledgeable on the subject of cars, okay? Now, let's say I bring my car to them because I need them to do something, right? Okay. See, I don't know nothing about cars, okay? And so I'll take my car over to my buddy and, blah, blah, blah. Well, and, a lot of times, if there ends up being a kind of a long conversation where we're hanging out, so I bring my car over and then we're hanging out for like an hour. Well, dude, a lot of what he's going to be talking about is cars and how this part works with this part and how all this, and he starts talking about all this shit that I don't know anything about. And so when he starts talking about all that stuff, it's like a foreign language to me. Okay? And despite whatever you have been led to believe about the subject of homelessness, that it's not really important, and it's just they're all just lazy, blah blah blah. That's all. That'd be like me saying to my friend who works on cars, like, dude, all this stuff about car parts and how they work is totally not important at all. Because I already know how cars work. It's very simple. It's just a car is just stupid, and then as long as you treat it stupid and it's not rocket science, dude. Like, I don't really, So you don't. So this is the thing. Like I'll be honest with you. I don't really care. I don't really care to like try and pay attention to my friend when he's talking about cars, because it's so complex. He's got so much knowledge through experience and research and training and all this stuff that I don't understand 90% or more of what he's talking about, but he'll talk about it anyways. So because I don't really, I don't have the ability to regard what he is saying about my car and how this part works with that part and how all this stuff works, and because I don't have the capability to understand, does that mean that subject is not important? It's like, well, you like to drive a car, don't you? So if you don't have all this, if you aren't knowledgeable on cars and how they work, and somebody is trying to explain to you the way a car works, and it's like a foreign language to you, so you're just kind of like, okay, whatever. You're just waiting for them to finish because you don't understand anything that they're saying. Does that mean that what they're saying is irrelevant? I mean, you do like to drive a car, don't you? You are interested in your car running so that you could drive it. Okay. Do you understand? Like, it's like the subject, I talked about the subject of dendrology and trees, Just because it may not appear to be an important subject, the dendrology of trees, that doesn't mean that it's not an important subject. Like, you know, in the Bible, it talks about the tree of life and stuff like this, and all these different, you know, there's all this vast sea of documentation and stuff about plants and trees and like the tree of knowledge and all this stuff. But so to assume that dendrology is just not really important because we're in the middle of a global genocide and interdimensional beings are flowing through CERN, and therefore dendrology is not important. Well, dude, like, what if a dendrologist discovered the tree of life? And all you people are so obsessed with Trump and Biden and interdimensional beings and all this gay faggot shit, that when a dendrologist has a meaningful report, is like, dude, I have discovered the tree of life. It cures all disease. And everybody's just like, dude, shut up with that dendrology shit, bro. You're boring the fuck out of us. Can't you see we're talking about important stuff like fucking Trump and CERN and it's just like the mechanic that knows how to work on your car, even though you don't know anything about it. Like, you do know that you like a car and you need a car, but just because you don't seem to see the importance of the knowledge of how cars function, that doesn't mean that you don't like your car and actually not only like it, but you feel it is your right to have it's your right, not a privilege, it's a right. You have the right to have your car. But you're not going to listen to the mechanic going on and on explaining to you what's going on with your car and what's because you don't understand the mechanics. Like, you don't understand. That's why you're taking your car to a mechanic. And it's the same with homelessness. You don't understand, dude. You don't understand. You know, so my buddy, he's very knowledgeable on cars. And so I take my car to him. And a lot of times he's talking about the mechanics of vehicles. And I just don't have the ability to understand what he's saying because this guy has got decades of training, research, field application, field study, etc., etc., etc. Okay? So I don't even know what to do. I'm just like, oh, well, yeah, can you fix it though? And so check this out. So then he has a friend that he's trying to help out and stuff. And that guy, his friend, thinks that he's a knowledgeable mechanic too. So much so that he's going around town telling everybody that he can fix their car when he can't. In reality, it's the mechanic guy that I'm talking about who can fix his car. But nonetheless, he's going around telling everybody that he's the one that can fix their car when he doesn't know much more about cars than I do. So you see, like, the complexity of everything in everything. Like, just because I'm telling you I know something about something doesn't mean that I do, you know? And just because, like, what I'm talking about sounds like a foreign language to you because you don't have any understanding at all about homelessness, just like, you know, I don't have any understanding at all as to how the function of a car works. Just like I don't have any understanding of trees like a dendrologist does. That doesn't mean that these things that I don't have understanding of are of no value, you know. Just because I believe it's the Jews, that doesn't mean that everything else isn't important. And that there might actually be something more important than the Jews, and that really this "it's the Jews" thing really isn't all as accurate. It's a lot more nuanced and complex than the simple "it's the Jews" thing. You know, like there's so much complexity in everything, you know. And you know, so when I'm talking about homelessness, I know that you're not going to believe me when I'm telling you of all the decades of research and experience I have, just like the mechanic who has all the tens of thousands of hours of research and experience and study and training, and that's why he can work on your car when you can't, but you do like your car worked on. And I have those same types of levels of expertise on the subject of homelessness. And so when it's the breaking news story that Trump is addressing homelessness, and then all these people dogpile who don't know anything about homelessness, just like you don't know anything about dendrology. You are not an expert on the study of trees. You're not a dendrologist, right? Anyways, it's just a video. Whatever. But whatever, just believe whatever it is you want to believe, just like take the blue pill and believe whatever you want to believe, right?